iSolved's expense management enhances employee satisfaction by simplifying the expense reporting process, provides faster employee reimbursement, and empowers the employees to manage expenses from anywhere at any time. The modern design reduces the administrative burden placed on approvers to manage and collaborate with their team for fast and accurate expense processing, all while increasing expense compliance, providing enhanced visibility, and improving financial health for the organization. As an employee, Emma can easily navigate to her expense card to view her expense items. She can see any pending, paid, or returned items, and when it's time to add a new expense item, she can easily upload the receipt or take a photo of that receipt so she no longer needs to save those paper copies to attach to a report at the end of the month. Once the receipt is captured, Emma can go in and enter the rest of the pertinent information, such as what is the expense name, dinner with the team, the date that the expense occurred, the business purpose, and any details around that expense. She'll then select the expense type, enter the dollar amount, and then either save for later or submit. Once Emma submits this, it'll let her know that the expense has been submitted, and her approver will also get a notification letting the approver know that there is an item for them to approve. Now, maybe outside of the submitted expense, maybe the approver reviewed one of Emma's expenses and realized she was missing some information. Emma could receive a notification letting her know that that expense has been returned, and she can navigate to her returned expense items. In this case, she can see it was a meal item that's been returned, and it's due to insufficient information, no receipt provided. Emma could drill in to more details around that expense item, find that receipt, click the photo capture, and easily upload that to her item. From here, she could resubmit it, again getting a notification that it's been resubmitted, and a notification will go back to Emma's approver, letting the approver know that they have a new item to approve. The modern approval experience in iSolved Expense Management provides on-the-go access to review and approve expenses that are assigned to approvers. From Chris's perspective as an approver, he has the same capability to manage and add his own expenses. But as an approver, he has additional responsibilities. He can navigate to his task screen, which allows him to review any pending, approved, or returned expense items. Chris can easily drill into details to make sure he has all the pertinent information. He could reject this item. He could approve this expense and send it directly on to the final approver for payment. Or, with this expense for Charles, he can see that there is not a receipt added, so he could return this back to the employee to add additional information. Chris is going to hit the return button, then enter in his reason for returning insufficient information, no receipt provided, and then return that item. Once he hits return, he's going to have a notification that lets him know that that expense has been returned, and the employee would also receive a notification letting them know that one of their expenses has been returned. All while this item has been added directly to Chris's returned items. So from Chris's perspective, he can ensure that he has all the necessary information needed for accurate processing and also make sure that the information follows his company policy guidelines. From an organizational standpoint, the expense policy can be enforced and in compliance by building the expense policy rules with inside iSolved Expense Management. This is where admin users can configure submission periods and the approval process. They can set eligibility rules and notifications around events. They can manage business purpose and expense types, and even build custom expense fields and assign delegates. All of this with a simplified dashboard and reporting to provide real-time insight to better manage the expense process. With iSolved Expense Management, managing expenses has never been easier. iSolved improves employee satisfaction by streamlining the expense process and by empowering employees to manage their expenditures from anywhere at any time. Your organization has more insight to the process to improve their financial health and to increase operational efficiencies, all while maintaining compliance. At iSolved, we are committed to creating a positive and purposeful culture through a better employee experience to increase productivity and engagement across your organization.